Hey y'all, welcome to the Rockfield Barbecue channel. Tonight, we are going to start an interesting cook, beef back ribs. Stay tuned and I'm going to show you how I do it. So I bought this thing kind of out of a mistake. I thought I was buying the big old dino ribs, the beef spare ribs that come in the 3 bones. But I didn't realize these were just the back part of the rib, the back ribs, the beef back ribs. But anyway, you take a look at this thing. It's a very beautiful piece of meat. I mean, look, it's nice and red and marbly. And my approach here is to cook this thing exactly like how I would with pork spare ribs. So you see me patting it dry. I'm adding about a 50-50 blend of black pepper and kosher salt. The black pepper should attract some of the smoke that we're going to be adding to this to the ribs, and the salt is playing a role. It's gonna add some tenderness to the meat. Basically, it's gonna suck out some of that moisture and penetrate itself back into the meat, adding some extra flavor. And so now I'm getting all sides of this meat with my blend, including the sides. I didn't take the membrane out, just let the membrane in, because with these ribs, if you they're pretty delicate when they cook, so they could fall apart after they're cooked, especially if we're taking it up to 203 internal temp. So I'm getting it all, so I'm going to leave that membrane on, just like I'm just out. So now I'm going to loosely cover it with some parchment paper and leave it in the fridge for a few hours. And as you can see, it's pretty late at night, and I'm cooking these about the night before. I'm anticipating this could be about an 8-hour cook. So you can see me starting. It's quite dark outside. It's doing these cooks is not easy, but I'm doing it anyway. So anyway, I'm using Fogo eucalyptus charcoal. These are large chunks of charcoals that should be a nice low and slow and long burning fire. I'm adding hickory and oak wood to the flavor of smoke, and you can see how I stacked it into my slow ones here. Look at the chunks of that charcoal. They're gigantic. So I got my charcoal all lit up, and this is going to be my secret to the beef. I'm going to add heaping tablespoons of beef Wagyu tallow all into a pan just like that. And so now it's been about 15 minutes later, and I'm going to take my charcoal and I'm going to add it to the little corner of my slow ones here. You can see me adding it to the corner right over here. And you could see, so that's going to just slowly start at the top of where it's going to be burning, and it's going to slowly burn all the way to the edge of the slow and sear. So now I'm just adding some hot water to the trough, and I'm going to let this grill preheat to about 215 degrees. So while the grill is preheating, I'm taking out the ribs, and you can see it kind of changed a little color. That's a good thing. The salt is doing its job. And so now I'm going to take this thing back outside, and you can see my drip pan right there. Got a nice something to collect all the drippings from my meat, and I'm going to position the meat just like how I have it on here. And I'm going to add an upper grate just so I can put my pan of beef tallow, and I'm going to let this thing smoke almost the whole time of the cook. So now I'm going to close my lid and come back in about 3 hours. So now it's 3 hours later, and every 15 minutes of this hour, I'm spraying apple cider vinegar. So now it's 5:40. You can see that this is really late. I got very little sleep, but I'm pushing through here. You can see how the bones are kind of receding back, or the meat, I'm sorry. And look at that color. That bark is just built up, nice and dark and thick. That's exactly what I want right there. And so right now, it's about time to wrap. I'm gonna wrap my ribs onto some laid out butcher paper right here, And I'm horrible about wrapping Christmas presents, let alone this piece of meat's going to be pretty difficult for me to wrap up. So don't make fun of me. If you want to make fun of me, leave those comments down below. I'd really appreciate it. So I'm going to take that smoked tallow and just drench it into these ribs right here. It's going to add some extra fat and extra moistness to the meat. And this is how I do my briskets. I use this stuff right on my briskets. So I'm going to fold up my meat just like that. And it's going to take about a few of these because these beef ribs are quite large. I mean, the bones are just, I have never worked with a piece of meat like this before. But I'm going to place the meat back into the grill, meat side down this time. The last time I was cooking them bone side down. So now we let the ribs cook for about an hour, wrapped up, and now let's take a look at what it's looking like right now. We're gonna take our beef ribs. We're not gonna unwrap them. We're actually gonna prolong the rest rate for a few hours because I have a party later on this afternoon. So to do that, to prolong the rest rate without it going like your daddy. Getting too cold and drying out, I'm going to take some foil and wrap it up with the butcher paper inside and tightly double wrap the ribs. Okay, you can see me. Yep. You can see how tight I'm wrapping up my ribs. It's going to be a little bit better than how I wrapped up the ribs with the butcher paper. But anyway, you'll see the method I'm doing here. So I'm using some heavy duty foil here, and I'm just
the last part of it
tightly wrapping everything up. So I'm gonna take a beach towel, a thick towel, and just wrap up the towel, wrap up the meat just like this, in the towel, nicely fold it in. And I'm going to take another towel on top of this and fold and wrap it up. Double wrap this thing with another towel. You can see just like that. And I'm going to take my meat and put it into this cooler. And it should keep everything insulated for a few hours. So you can do this with brisket, pork butt. If you have a party that's happening way later on, this will help keep everything nice and warm until it's time to serve. So you're just gonna let this rest until it's time to party. So now it's 2:40 in the afternoon. I'm gonna take this thing out and I'm gonna finish it off by putting in some of my barbecue sauce in here. So what I did was I took some Sweet Baby Ray's and I thinned it out with some white vinegar because I don't want it too caked on in here, because if it's too caked on, then the sugars are going to burn the meat, and we don't want that. So I'm just putting in my barbecue sauce right there. I'm just going to close it up for about 10 minutes, and look at that. That's what it's going to look like right there. So look at that. It's nice and shiny. It's almost like a leather shoe in a good way. But you could just almost, this meat is just glistening out in the sun. Look at that. The bones are just protruding out. It just looks like something that's just kind of prehistoric. But it's just super tender. Look how when I probe into this thing, it's just like butter. Just just melting in to the meat just like that. I'm not even measuring out for the temp. So let's do it. Let's cut into these and see how we done. It's party time.